Okay, well, we are being recorded now, and first of all, I'd like to welcome everybody to our live and also recorded, if you're not listening to it today. But welcome everybody to our weekly leadership training call. Literally, really a once-a-week commitment for all of you to be a part of in helping you move your business forward. We have the best leaders in the industry, and I sincerely mean that, because we got leaders that speak from the heart. We have leaders that speak from experience. We have leaders that are truly walking the talk and sharing exactly what it is that they're doing to build their global business and create that time and financial freedom that all of you joined NHT Global for the same reason. So I want to thank you, Jamie, for a wonderful presentation. And you also heard Donna Young, a top leader here. We got phenomenal leaders here in Patrick Tulloch, in Joe Garcia, Dan Catto, Jeff Orchard, Francis Maxwell, who just continue to give us some golden nuggets on a weekly basis. And again, one purpose, and that is to help you move your business forward with the information you hear each and every week. These are also recorded. They're put on steamteam.ca. I also have a site as well that I record as well. I'll share that later as well. It's open to everyone. But the topic today that I want to talk about is time and activity management. You know, as I'm sure all the leaders, when they put a topic together, there's so many aspects of this business that each topic can go into, but I'm going to share some insights that will hopefully help you build your business, because the reality is, this is the first slide I'm showing you here, time and activity management, but this is really the title of this training. How to manage time effectively if you live in a busy or hectic life in order to build your business and reach your goals. Well, obviously, that was a long title to put on an email blast, so I'm sharing it with you here today. I'm sure some of you guys at times may feel like this lady in the picture here, got so much going on in life. You got this going on, that going on, and you just can't put it all together. So hopefully today, I mean, there's so many different theories, so many different techniques and things that you can do. I'm really probably going to scratch the surface, but I'm going to share with you what actually has helped me, because I could easily put myself in this picture. I can guarantee you that that's who I was 12 years ago. That's really who I was probably even 8 years ago. And at times, you know, there's times where even the multimillionaires will sometimes feel this way. But what is it that they do that can have them bring that balance in their life that we so long to accomplish? And that's hopefully what I'm going to share with you here today on this training. How can you still build your NHT Global business amongst just life, just the things that happen in life? That's the million-dollar question, right? Isn't it? How? How do you do it? How can you fit in your business? How can you say you work 80 hours a week, but you found the time to build this, and in 10 months built a full-time business and have one of the top 8 businesses of the entire company? How were you able to do it? Well, let me share something with you, because the solution to this is always ongoing. And what do I mean by that? It's never going to stop. There's no one thing or one time that's going to happen, because there are certain things you cannot control, so you will always need to find a way. No one can tell you how to manage your activities. No one can tell you how to manage your time. I'm going to talk about that, because no one truly can manage time. But we can help guide you as to why you should do the certain activities that perhaps you're not doing, and perhaps using your busy life schedule as maybe an excuse, perhaps even justifiable excuse. Here's my saying. I don't know if I read it or I made it up or I said it, but I've been saying this for so long. If there is a why, there is a way. Okay? I'm going to say that again because I really want to embed that in your conscious mind so it embeds in your subconscious mind. If there is a why, there is a way. There always is. Now, time is never an issue, okay? And that's truly a reality. Time is never an issue because everybody has 24 hours a day. What you do with your time is all on you. It's not on anybody else but you. You can't manage time. If we gave you 28 hours a day, you would probably wish you had 32. If you had 32 hours a day, you'd probably wish you would have 50 hours a day. That's just the reality, okay? So you can't manage time, but you can manage the activities that you do with the time that you have, okay? The time you have, I have. Everyone else has. So the question becomes, how do I manage my activities with the time that I have? Now, there's a lot of similarities in a training that I did a while back, and you can refer to my training. It was Overcoming Daily Distractions and Obstacles. I had a lot of feedback on that where it helped a lot of people in regards to some of the challenges that they have throughout the day. And I don't really want to cover the same things because you can go back to that training and you can listen to it. There's some similarities to a little bit of this training, but there's several nuggets that I want to share with you in this training that I did not in that training because it was a little bit of a different topic. But again, some of the principles and ideas are similar. So please take the time this week to go over that training, Overcoming Daily Distractions and Obstacles. I got feedback from people that actually somehow got a hold of this webinar training and is not even an NHC Global and said that was one of the most impressive trainings. And not really because I said it. It was just really the way the information was put together to really get people to go, wow, I get this, I relate to this, and I see it, and I can make the changes. So what I'd like to do is kind of paint a picture for you, because this is probably what goes on in people's heads as they're excited in the beginning, and then, of course, you know, some of that excitement gets taken by some of the things called life, you know, because, you know, sometimes you say, how can I build my business when I'm a mom or I'm a dad or I'm a spouse as well, and I also have a job, and I have to cook, and I got to clean, and I got extracurricular things with my kids. There's sporting events, there are after-school events. I still have to go grocery shopping. I got to pay the bills. I'm probably scratching the surface with a lot of things that we do on a daily basis. So you're kind of like, how can I still build my business when I have this going on? Now, I'm not even including some of the things that are not controlled by us. Perhaps something like a flat tire that may occur, or one of our kids gets sick and our school calls us and says, hey, you got to pick up your kid, or you get a phone call from a relative, they fell down the stairs and they're at the hospital. You know, I'm not even including that because that also puts a dent in your day, in your planning, in your activities that you have to do and the choices that you have to make every single day. Now, here's my question to you. What if you had a flat tire? Let's just say you're just barely making it. You're living paycheck to paycheck, and you're in the highway, and all of a sudden, plump, 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 plump. You're on your way to work, and your tire gets flat. Oh, my gosh, what happens? You got to get to work. You know they're cutting back an employee. You know they need you at work. So what do? Isn't it interesting that when you have a big reason why you need to get to work, you will find a way to get that tire fixed? Whether you call your spouse, your friend, your best friend, you Google the towing something, or you Google your boss, or something to fix your car, or take your car, or you you call your boss, you're going to find ways because you know why you need to get to work. This is so important to understand. Now, you got so many things going on, right? And we pay bills. Some people pay bills online. Some people have automatic drafts. Some people continue to, however you pay your bills. Let's just say you got so many activities going on through the week, right? And you're sick and tired of paying the late mortgage fee, okay? I remember years and years ago, probably about 13, 14 years ago, and it wasn't that I didn't have the money. At that time, I didn't understand how to manage my activities, but I always paid an extra $100 and something for my mortgage. Why? Because I always paid it late. But I made sure it never went past 30 days. You know why? Because it would go on my credit report. And that was a big why for me that I made sure. But the $100 wasn't a big why for me. So I always did it over and over and over again. But I'm sure that if your house would go in foreclosure, if you did not pay your bill on time or a certain time, I'm sure you would find the time to make it happen because you know the reason why. So, laundry's piling up, right? You need to get to work. Your kids need to go to school. You don't have any clothes. What are you going to do? You're going to find the time to do laundry, whenever that is, because that's what we do. It's important for us to know why we need to do certain things, so we do them. So things that are important to us, we're going to find the time to make it happen, okay? So why do you do these things? Well, because you know why you need to do it, so you'll make it happen. And some of these things you plan it because of its importance. Maybe you'll put the mortgage bill on the 14th to make sure that it goes out so you don't pay it on the 16th or 17th and get a late fee. So you plan it, whether it's in your planner, you have a charting mechanism or a memory mechanism. So again, you know the importance of it, and some of them you plan it, so you're going to do it because it's important. Again, I'm going to say this again. If there is a why, there is always a way. And guess what? You can do the same for your NHT Global business. So I'm just going to share with you some things that you can do that I know people in the industry of network marketing or the industry of an entrepreneur, a business owner, that I'm still amazed that people just don't do. Could it be no one taught them that? Could it be that maybe they didn't think it was as important? Because there's a lot of people that if you gave them steps to do, that you can help them become financially successful. We know that 80% of the people are going to skip through steps. 80% of the people are not going to comply through those steps. Why? It's just the way it is. So let me ask you this. What can you do so you can still do the things that are important in your life? You're busy. You got a hectic life schedule, but you want to build your NHT Global business. Well, what can you do? Number one, let me ask you this. Do you have an NHT Global work schedule? Do you have a planner, or do you have a schedule where you know when you're working your NHT Global business? If you do have one, are you committed to that? Just like you're committed to your job, where you can't have your friend come over to your job. You can't decide to call, grandma and spend 3 hours on the phone. You can't watch your favorite TV show when you're on your job. So, are you committed to working your NHT Global work schedule if you have one? Well, let me ask you this. If you don't have an NHT Global work schedule, why not? Why don't you have a schedule? One of the most important concepts that if people can grasp in writing things down, and we have a lot of to-do lists and sticky notes here and there, but one of the reasons why people become overwhelmed in their lives is because it's not so much that they don't write it down. They don't write it down in an organized way and do it consistent enough that it becomes part of their life. Okay? So hopefully what I share with you here today will help some of you guys may do that, but maybe stress the importance of really doing it consistent with some of the other things that I'm going to share with you, so you will see why you can build this business. Again, even if you have 2 full-time jobs, you can build this business. I'm not going to get into, obviously, the why, obviously, NHT Global is a leverage business where you leverage off the tools, you leverage off your upline leaders, you leverage off the material that we have, and because it's easy to do, it's also easy not to do. And when it's easy not to do, we don't do it, and then we try to find reasons why not. Okay? So, here is your schedule. Okay? Perhaps you work. You block off the time that you work here. If you can only work your business 3 days a week, 4 days a week, then put it in there. Is it from 10:30 to 11:30 on Mondays? Maybe from 5 to 6 on Tuesdays? Maybe you can't do it on Wednesday, but you'll work it from 8 to 12 on Thursdays, perhaps only 30 minutes on your lunch on Friday. What is it? You need to spend the time to put a work schedule so you stay committed to that. Now, oops, sorry, my slides went out. So, now, just like you're committed to your job, okay? Just like you're committed to your job, commit to your NHT Global business, okay? No distractions. That doesn't mean that when your mom calls you, unless it's an emergency, when your mom calls you at 10 o'clock on Mondays, when you set aside time to work your NHT Global business, okay, you can't take that call. Mom, I'll call you when I'm done with my business. Is it urgent? If your cousin calls you or whoever calls you, don't be distracted with building your future. This is not the time that you make coffee at 10 o'clock. You make your coffee at 9:45. Make your coffee the night before. Do it first thing in the morning. Do not do anything else at the time you schedule for your NHT Global work schedule except for these things. You're making calls. You're doing follow-up calls. You're potentially meeting somebody at that time, or you're presenting the opportunity at that time. You're doing 3-way calls, or you're promoting a certain call, events, or webinars. Okay? This is your future building time. I cannot stress that enough. This is your NHT Global time. This is your leveraged income time. This is your time that you're building your goals, dreams, and aspirations. Don't you dare let anybody take you off course with distractions. As a matter of fact, put your laptop away. Put your desktop away. You don't need it when you're talking to people, you're following up with people, or you're presenting or doing 3-way calls. You don't need it. It's a distraction. It's those little things that we sometimes don't realize because they're habits of what we do that can change your business. It can go from you making $20 a week to making $2,000 a week. Please have a work schedule that you plan out week for week. And in my opinion, I encourage you to share that with your upline leader so they can hold you accountable to make sure that you're doing the right activities during your NHT Global. Now, some people will ask, well, do I use that time to learn? Do I use that time to get on a training? Do I use that time to read a book? No. This is where you're doing activities that build your business. But because in building your business, as you know, the culture that we have here in NHT Global is like no other culture in the industry of network marketing. I can attest to that through experience. We help people build themselves personally as we help you build professionally. So what you need to do on this schedule is also schedule a time where you are doing things for yourself. And we're going to cover that on the next slide. So we're here on your NHT Global work schedule. This is one out of the 2 slides that if you can focus on can literally change your business. it can change your mindset, it can change everything for you, okay? So, during your NHT Global work schedule, I'm just giving you the minimum here, okay? Here's another saying that I've created, okay? And I think this is very powerful. I want to spend some time here with you on this. The power of 2 a day keeps all doubt away. It keeps the self-doubt. It keeps all the questions. Can I really do this? When am I good at, if you can talk to 2 people a day, and for those of you that have gotten on my calls where I've done calls within the hour for 45 minutes nonstop, some of you guys got an experience to listen in on how I prospect, how I call, how I follow up, how I build relationships. You can see how I can make 15 calls in about 45 minutes. I could do it within the hour. I can maybe do it within 30 minutes. Why? Because not all of them are going to pick up. Not all of them are going to spend, I'm going to spend 10, 15 minutes with. Okay? So I'm giving you the bare minimum here, which time-tested can be done with anybody who has the fullest plate of all plates in the world. Okay? Now, 2 calls to 2 new people a day. Okay? This is not including what you do on Facebook and LinkedIn and social media and emails. I don't call that. That's part of your promoting. That's part of you exposing. But I'm talking about where you're connecting with somebody. Perhaps maybe you're Facebooking, LinkedIn, or emailing to get somebody on the phone, but it doesn't count until you are on the phone connecting with 2 new people a day. Okay? Now think about this. I want you to look at this formula. Okay? 2 new people a day, 4 days a week. Some of you guys can do it 5 days a week, 7 days a week. I'm just giving you the lowest. That is 8 new people a week. That is 32 new people a month. In 90 days, that's 96 people. 96 people in 90 days. If you took the 80-20 principle or just something around there very conservatively, okay, that's enrolling close to 15 people within 90 days. Many people are in the business for 6 months or 1 year, and they haven't even talked to more than 15 people. And they got more time on their shoulders than they think they do. So think about that. 2 new people. Who can do 2 new people a day? Everyone can do 2 new people a day. It could be 1 call on your way to work, 1 call on your way back. I'm just giving you bare minimum. Okay? Now, for those of you that have goals that you want to reach, for those of you that have a certain financial incentive you want to reach, I changed the 2 a day to 2 appointments a day. So the power of 2 a day keeps all doubt away. 2 appointments a day will remove all debt away. What do I mean by that? Well, if you make 2 appointments in 1 day, that means 2 people who were open to reviewing a webinar or your capture page or were open to meeting with you. Someone who was open to receiving information, because when somebody is open to receiving information, what's the rule of thumb? You schedule a follow-up appointment within 24 or 48 hours. Don't ever, ever, ever give somebody information and not schedule a specific time and date to call them back to find out what their interest level is within 24 or 48 hours. That is my rule of thumb. I don't know what everyone else's rule of thumb, but that is my rule of thumb. So if you made 2 appointments a day, you may have had to talk to 5 people that day. Maybe you talked to 2 people and you got 2 appointments. That's great. Okay? But if you do 2 appointments a day, it will remove all your debt away. Now, I didn't plug in the formula for this, but because I didn't have time to do that. But if you take a look at, 96 people in 90 days, if you just talk to 2 people a day, think about if you had 2 appointments a day over 90 days. Think about 96 people, okay? Let's just say 96 people, you had appointments with 96 people that had looked at your opportunity. Just think about that. If you did the 20/80 rule, you're looking at 20 new enrollments. That's just your personal enrollment, let alone what they're going to be doing, let alone if you have any potential people going into your organization from anybody above as well. Folks, think about this. This is very, very powerful. We're not talking about sitting there and spending 3 hours trying to figure something out. We're talking about talking to 2 new people a day, 4 days a week. In 90 days, that's 96 people. There are people that are in this industry who work this over a year or two, and they haven't even done 50 people total. They think they did because they sent an email blast to 100 people, and they count that as 100. No, that does not count. Folks, if you can grasp this concept, what I'm sharing with you here today, your future will change forever. It will change forever. That's how I got started back in 12 years ago. And that is what my goal is, that 2 appointments a day. Sometimes I have to talk to 15 people. But that's my goal. That's what I set for myself. And I'm committed to make that happen, and I do. So, but if you want to start off with just 2, talking to the 2 new people a day, regardless of what the result is, folks, 96 people in 90 days, you get your partner involved with some of those calls as well. Folks, your future can change forever. And that's why in my presentations, my opportunity webinars, why I share in 90 days, you can be happier, healthier, and acquire both time and financial freedom. Because it can start at 90 days. It's that simple if you take a look at this formula. See, a lot of people look at, wow, so talking to 96 people, wow, no, that's a lot of people. Well, if you break it down to how many people a day, just 4 days a week, you can start seeing how doable it is for everyone. Now, if you knew that in 90 days you could enroll 15 people personally with 2 a day for 4 days a week, you would do it in a heartbeat, regardless of your busy schedule and regardless of the unplanned obstacles and challenges of life. Why? Because you know why. You know why. If you knew that your future can change in 90 days, if you just did that, guess what? You would do it. So it's time for you to set aside some time to focus on why you need to do this. And it goes back to some of the things that Joe Garcia and Dan Cato and all these other trainers talk about in, again, that vision, that story, that movie that you play in your head over and over again. Remember, if there's a why, there is always a way. Always a way. Now, let me share you about another schedule that you need to have. You need to have your you schedule, you work schedule, where you work on yourself. Again, just like you commit to your job to build your boss's vision, to build your boss's future, you need to commit to you. This is where, again, nobody bothers you. There's no distractions. There's no multitasking. Again, bringing back that schedule, that planner, you put in your NHT Global work activity that you need to do. Then you need to schedule in your you time. You got to make sure one thing, okay? If you have to put it on your planner, do it. But you have to be a product of your own products, and I hope each and every one of you are taking your NHT Global products every day. Not every other day, not every 5 days, every day. You got your platinum kit or your gold kit, and you got a 30-minute non-surgical facelift that has created millionaires around the world. We got emerging countries that are begging for our business model to go in because of that product, and you haven't experienced it yet, something's wrong. You got one of the Nobel Prize winning research product in Cluster X, the most powerful hydrating product you can put in your body that detoxifies and hydrates at the cellular level, and you haven't even opened it, something is wrong. Here's what you have to put down on your schedule. You better put on your schedule and find a time where you play your vision movie. Whether it's when you wake up in the morning, maybe perhaps before you go to bed, maybe it's when you're driving, maybe it's before you walk into your office at work, maybe it's right after you brush your teeth, maybe it's when you're putting your clothes on. Whatever. Please, play your vision movie every single day. And if you put it down on your planner, it increases the chances that you're doing, because what you put down on paper that you commit to increases the chances of you doing it over 80%. What book are you reading? When was the last time you read a book? Are you reading it consistently, or are you doing it when you're finding the time? Because you need to work on you. Because if you work on you, you will be more empowered to figure out ways that you can work your NHT Global business amongst all the other things you need to do in your busy life. I guarantee you, you'll be able to do that. Now, a lot of people say read a book for at least a half hour. I don't know what the right answer is, but why don't you start with 15 minutes? Because 3 or 4 pages, well, most people probably can read more than 3 or 4 pages in 15 minutes. Let's just say 10 pages. 10 pages of good, inspiring principles and information on you can change your entire day than if you don't do it. So, do you want to wake up 15 minutes earlier? Do you have the power to do that? Yes. Do you have the commitment to do that? That's up to you. But if you have a reason why you need to do it, guess what? You're going to do it. You're going to find the time to do the activities that's necessary for you to achieve the goals, dreams, and aspirations that are important to you. Listen to audio on self-growth. Some of you guys listen to audio. Perhaps you're doing that when you're driving to work. Well, guess what? Do it every day. But if you can get a phone call in, hopefully with your Bluetooth, you're not handheld calling when you're in the car. But hopefully if you're making those calls, great, do that. But find a time where you're listening to something on self-growth. Okay? Find a time once a week at least. We have these calls Wednesday nights, so you're on at least one training once a week. But make it a habit to add another day a week in addition to your self-growth training. Some of the trainings that we do, as a matter of fact, most of the trainings that we do here are on self-growth. But some of them are how-to. Some of them are on skills. Jamie did a fantastic call training last week on how to become a master in picking up the phone. Okay? So, take the time to do that. Listen on the trainings that are on steamteam.ca. Folks, that is the best online success university on not just building your business, but developing yourself. But the information that's there is great, but it doesn't do you any good if you don't do it. Well, when will you do it? That's up to you to put it in your planner and commit to it to do it. If it's important, you will find a time. If it's not important, you will push it aside. You will find a reason why you can't do it. And I also have a training site, 6+ Team Global. I have webinar trainings on there as well. I don't know what trainings are not on Steam Team that I have done, but this training will be on one of these websites. Here's another thing that I think is crucially important in yourself. And I'm not going to spend too much time because there's other things that I believe people should do, but these are the 2 things that I encourage everybody to be inspired to do on a consistent basis. You decide if it's 3 times a week, 2 times a week, 4 times a week, but whatever it is, put it on your schedule and commit to that. If it's important to you, you're going to find a way to do it. I hope everybody's drinking enough water. Being in the sports medicine field for the past 16 years, I can't stress enough how if people drank the amount of water that they need on a consistent basis, most of the health challenges would be eliminated. that powerful. And when you have a product like Cluster X2, and that has the most scientific validation to the efficacy of what that product can do to your body, I hope everybody's drinking at least the 2 8 ounces of that formulation a day, which is equivalent to drinking 8 to 10 8 ounces of water a day. Okay? I hope people are doing that. And I hope you're exercising. Okay? This doesn't have to be get a video, go to the gym. This could be, folks, going up and down the stairs 10 times, doing 25 jumping jacks, get down, do 5 push-ups, do 5 sit-ups. You don't have to do 100 sit-ups. Get your blood circulation. Get something that will stimulate circulation and oxygen to your body that's good for you. Because when you do that, folks, it's going to put you in the right mind frame. And when you put yourself in the right mind frame with some of the things that I just shared with you that you need to do, folks, I guarantee you, you will find the way, you will find the time to incorporate it in your busy schedule and get the results you're looking for in your NHT Global business. If you need assistance with your time schedule because you really want to do this and you've never done this before, folks, contact your direct upline leader and make this happen. Don't do it next week, okay? Don't put off what you can do today or tomorrow of next week. That's called procrastination. That's called putting it aside. That's called, I don't have a big reason to do it. Why? So it's not important to me, so I'll do it later. You can't then use that as an excuse or as an obstacle or as a challenge. Folks, I encourage you to do it tonight, today, or at the latest tomorrow. Because some of these things have to be in place for you, especially if you're extremely busy, you're working this business on a part-time or a very part-time, you can still build your dreams with NHT Global on a very part-time basis if you put some things in order. If it's important to you, you will do it sooner rather than later, and you will be able to make them your automatic habits. And I briefly want to talk about this. You could obviously do a training on this, but you want to create habits, folks, that attract money. And some of these things that I'm sharing with you today will attract all of these things that I'm sharing with you. Habits that attract money. Habits that attract success. Habits that attract abundance in all areas of your life. Habits that turn activities into revenue. There's a prospect line. How would you like to turn your, how would you like to have habit-forming activities that turn into revenue for you? I mean, think about that. Habits that make you a better person, a better spouse, a better parent, a better friend, a better leader. I'm sure everyone listening to this wants to be all of those. But if you don't put some things down so you can have them structured, you're never going to do them. If you're never going to do them, you're never going to become the person you've always wanted to become, that you know that you can become. Habits that fulfill your life. What habits you choose, what are they that you need to delete or perhaps change or add? That's your choice to do. That's not your upline. That is not your master distributor. It's not NHT Global that's going to tell you or teach you. They can guide you and share information that has helped others that have done that, and theories and principles and guidelines that have been proven when you apply it that can do that for you. But you need to find out what habits that you're doing every single day that you can change, that you need to delete, or you need to add. It's a choice, folks, and you can do it. You can do it on any schedule that you seem as hectic. Just know that there's always somebody else that has a more hectic schedule than you, but yet is happier, healthier, and has time and financial freedom. Because it's not the time, it's what they deleted in their life that they didn't need. You know, perhaps you don't need to do the dishes before you go to bed. Perhaps you don't need to do clean that countertop that is 15 minutes that you can get 2 people a day and do it first thing in the morning. There is things that you do every day that you don't realize that become automatic habits that you do that keep you in that comfort zone that prevents you from doing the things that would get you to become bigger and more and do more and have more and give more and earn more, because that's ultimately why you joined this business. When you have no end in mind to work towards, the obstacles of life become the excuses and then the norm as to why you are where you are at today. You then allow and attract more distractions that you can use to excuse yourself from achieving greatness. Some people don't know that they're doing that because it just happens automatically. It's how they're conditioned based on their belief systems. If your why, your purpose are clear, they're vivid, they make you emotional, I guarantee you, you can overcome anything. Anything. So, and you've heard us say about, we spend so much time on what you program your mind, because a solid, sound mind can accomplish anything. You can find the solution of how to get things done in your busy life schedule. You can do that. But if you're not in the right mind frame, or you don't have any guidance in how you can make the changes by being inspired and empowered by some of these nuggets, nothing will change. So I want you to get away with this training with this thing here. These two concepts. 2 new people a day keeps all doubt away. 2 new appointments a day keeps all debt away. How important is it to you? I want to let everyone know who is listening here that I believe in each and every one of you. And sometimes you have to borrow the belief of the person who has belief in you in order to get that belief in yourself. Let us borrow our belief till you develop yours, because all of us have been created to achieve greatness in life. And because life throws us obstacles and challenges, and because of our belief systems, and because of our past and our law of associations, that is why everybody is in different situations in their life. But I'm here to tell you that I believe so strongly in the power of you making the changes, making the sacrifices, making the necessary schedule in your busy schedule to get you to the point where you know you want to be. I believe in you. I believe in your future. I believe in the development that you will make. I believe in the greatness that you have inside you to make things happen during your hectic lifestyle. I have done it. I'm a testament to it. And all the leaders that have achieved success and the multi-millions, all of them have had hectic life schedules. But it is what they've done with their why that allowed them to find the ways to put in their busy schedule the things they need to do in order for them to achieve the success that they have today. So I want to thank everybody for joining us here on our training. Please join us every Wednesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on a different training topic that will help you and your organization build your business. This isn't just for you. It's for those that you also bring in this business who want to change their life just like you. I also have a cliche that, when you bring yourself to events, you learn more. When you bring your organization to events, you earn more. And that's very, very important. So keep listening to these trainings. Listen to them over and over again. You'll always hear something different in these trainings that you've heard once, twice, 3 times. And it could be that 4th time that you have listened to that gives you that aha moment or that inspiration to make even a bigger change to get you to where you want to be in your life. Thank you once again, everybody, for joining us, and we'll hear you on our next training call.